right, so here's the JCB. And the JCB is like, you know, I'm not Mr. Heavy Equipment, so there are going to be guys out there that, you know, I already know about, you know, all that stuff. But, you know, I'm like always have wanted heavy equipment, but never could afford heavy equipment. Now I kind of can because I can make payments. But the JCB, the cool part about it is it's like a skidster, but it also has a backhoe. So if you look on the back, and I bought this one used. It's about 4 years old, and so you got a full-on backhoe in the back and a skidster on the front, and that's a whatever they call it. They call it a 5-point bucket, and so it comes out and it'll push dirt, and it has the quick disconnect, so it can hook up to my snow pusher. And you know, and there's a billion different accessories on it, and it's got high flow and low flow on the front and the back, so you can put like post hole diggers and all that stuff. I'm a huge fan of this thing, and it works great. 50 horsepower, so it's got plenty of power, like 2,700 pound lift capacity in the front end, and it does everything we need here on the ranch. By far, no questions asked, this is the most used piece of equipment on our ranch. We do so much with it. Build our roads and spread gravel and dig our drainage systems and push snow with it. It is I'd be lost without it. I really would. It is the most important thing that I have. If it was this or a tractor, I'd pick this every time. So the JCB has just been a dream. And in fact, if we look down here, so you guys know that we have these mobile shelters, right? And this, by the way, is my tractor. So I have one of these Ford Versatiles, and it goes forward and back, and I'm not real savvy on tractors, but these are like a cult following. People love these things, and I like mine. I'm gonna take the backhoe off and sell it in case anybody's interested. They're actually quite hard to find because my backhoe on this one works well, but it has all kinds of attachments front and back, and it's 4-wheel drive in both directions, and has 100 horsepower, so it'll pull and push big equipment. It works really great, and so we're happy about that, and it only has like 4,000 hours on it, so it's really a hard tractor to find, and we got lucky and found one. But if you look at these shelters, this was the one down in the horse area, and the horses just don't use it, so it was something that wasn't getting used. So now I have one shelter there, I have one shelter there, and what we're going to do is we're going to keep the bucklings there during the winter. Our milking barn is right there, so we're going to keep the bucklings there. We're going to keep the does here, so we have easy access to the milking barn and access to that, and then we're going to keep the wethers here. And this will allow for a really good separation where we can feed like we want to feed. It all accesses via the breezeway, so the breezeway will make the feeding process easy. We'll be able to feed through the fence and put the feeders on here. But all that digging and all that building of that pad and everything was done with the JCB. And we're really excited about this because now we're kind of at full expansion. We're using all our shelters now properly. We've housed all our animals and their needs around the equipment that supplies it, so we have kind of a center operating area, and at the same time we're able to maintain road systems and snow removal to access all of our animal equipment and everything else like that. So we're pretty stoked about that. Let's go down here and see what I did here. I did the same configuration I always do with these shelters. Now I don't have this one pushed exactly where it's gonna go yet, but what I'll do is I'll push it back further. This is a big trench that goes out, so the moisture will shed off the backside of this roof, and if I don't give it a way to go out, it'll go through the shelter itself. So if you look over here, I literally hump these up. So if you back off, Shea, so they can kind of see the whole thing, I actually hump the shelter up so you can see it's kind of a slight dome, and that way even their moisture and this is the highest spot in this area, it all sheds off so we don't get wetness. Then what I'll do is I'll go in and I'll put like a foot of sand in there. So like it's called bedding sand. And so I'll put bedding sand in. It's cheap. It's like 60 bucks a load. And I'll put bedding sand in here, and then I'll put hay over the top of that. And then it makes for really easy cleaning, because when I'm cleaning it with the skidster, when I get some of the dirt underneath, I'm not getting gravel, and then I'm not putting compost gravel out into my fields, and I can use it in my field systems. So you can see kind of how I configure it, and then we just pull these up here with the tractor. This is gonna bug me if I don't do it. But the way this system works, it's just super awesome, and we're really happy with how all this came together, and we'd made a lot of good decisions with it, and now it's set up nice where we can feed, and they have all these really great wind breaks, and the wind comes in from this direction when we get storms, and it's just awesome. So I'm super blessed and feel so lucky to have this set up. So the other thing that I wanted to update you guys on is this, and I'm actually going to do a separate video on this, but these are working really good. We actually, when these are, what are they called? Freeze misers. And the freeze misers, we've put them on several of our systems now, and they're still working. We've had temperatures down into like the 10s, so we haven't had the sub-zero temperatures yet. But they've done a really good job of running in those temperatures and creating flow enough to where this just stays full all the time and I don't got to worry about it. You can actually see that it drips down the side. So we surveyed it and we put a bucket underneath it to see how much water it would use overnight, and it uses about 3.5 gallons. So 3.5 gallons when it runs, when it's in freezing temperatures. And with us having a well, and with that going back into the water system that feeds back down to the well, we believe that's worth it for us in terms of cost overall, to not have to worry about, you know, running our well too much and inherent total costs on ease and time and energy and all that different stuff. So we're deeming this a victory right now, but we still don't have a full test yet because we haven't gone through a whole winter, and we also haven't seen the really cold temperatures yet. So we'll get that done. Now I'm going to take you down to the cold plunge and show you that, and that's kind of our last big piece of progress that we've made on the ranch, other than the fact that we've spread a lot of gravel this year and we're not going to have muddy roads, which I'm so thankful for. No muddy roads is a gift. All right, so this is, I forgot we did this too. This was actually a major project. We built this earthen bridge over over a culvert last year, and that the culvert wasn't long enough, and I didn't do it well enough to where the erosion slowly packed up around that. So we started over again. We redug it out. I dug a trench out. I put a new culvert down in there, and then we actually put and I'm going to supply a picture to you, Shea, and you put it in the video of where we started with this. This section right here is actually, if you film from over here, Shea, you'll be able to see. And then we have a containment system that has a dead man on the inside. So instead of that dirt sloughing off like it was, we now have a really easy, slow grade on both sides. And we have this big long containment system for this dirt so it's not eroding, and we created proper drainage so that it drains around the bridge rather than draining the dirt into the bridge. So that's one of the failures that then made us really go, hey, we need to do it right this time, and we did it right, and it's working right. So this is the new bridge, and we're super happy with it, and it's wider and makes it easier to do chores. And I can tell you, one of the greatest gifts you'll give yourself if you're on a ranch is to give yourself gravel roads, or roads that aren't muddy and nasty. And road mix and chipped gravel is super cheap. So get a dump trailer, get a skidster, which aren't super cheap, and make your life easier and don't drive around on muddy roads. All right, so as I walk around the ranch, I realize I forgot how many things we have done just in the last couple of weeks, because we've been, again, scrambling to get ready for winter. So one of the things that we've had a problem with is, you can see the lay of this place where we have the horses, and this is their dry lot. And when moisture comes in here, either snow melts or we get a rain, all this moisture comes down and piles down into here and then drains down in here, and this is just this big muddy mess. So what I did is I created a ditch line along that side of the fence to run along here and then over there, and create drainage that goes out that way. So it protected this area for not getting water by using both a berm and a ditch. And right here, I rocked this in so that the water still had a place to go, because it's not a creek, it just drains slow. Now it has a place to be contained and to drain off the back side of it so that we don't have to deal with it here, and our chore area is less muddy. So again, eliminate mud and drainage and put some gravel on it. Your life just becomes easier with equipment, that's for sure. So we'll move on to the cold plunge. All right, so this is kind of a new thing for us here at the ranch, and we're stoked about it because we know it's good for us. And so this is our cold plunge. And so this is one of the creeks that runs through the ranch. The other one's right there, and the confluence is right down here. But we made this bigger this year, and we created a really cool dam with a little spillway, and you know, it worked out really awesome. You can see there's ice on the edge. So when we step in it in the mornings, and usually we have to break through the ice on the edge to then sit down in the center, and it is really cold. So the first time I did it, I literally screamed and yelled all the way over to the hot shower, which is over here, by the way. So one of the beautiful parts about the cold plunge is that you can cold plunge and then walk over, and then that's our hot shower. And it's working awesome with the Julka. I'll show you that here in a second. But the cold plunging is undisputed as a medicinal thing for your body. It's really good for your body. It creates all kinds of positives on a cellular level and an inflammation level, and it's undisputed as a very healthy thing to do. The other thing, and the reason I'm interested in doing it, is because it's a resolve thing. Cold is my kryptonite. I'm way more sensitive to cold than most people, and cold water is about as awful of an experience as I could think of it, and that's a way of thinking about it. So I wanted to change how I was thinking about it, and have the resolve to know it's not going to kill me. I have the ability to breathe through the pain, because it hurts, of the process. And the biggest thing is to push down that need for panic, because panic makes me do things that don't serve me. My goal is to sit in the cold plunge for 3 minutes someday. I'm up to 30 seconds. The first time I got in it, I literally only put my body in it and ran out. So I've gone from no seconds, 1 second, to now 30 seconds. And each time I'm able to sit longer. And it's not that I've gotten used to it, it's that I've created resolve and knowledge and just the ability to know I'm going to be just fine. And if I just stay calm and stay with my breath, then I can divert away from panic, which can help me out in my ability to just be a better human. So I'm doing the work that it takes. You can see our little pathways in here of you know, we're using this almost every day. Kelsom, my hired man, literally takes one of these every single morning, and then a hot shower. And then Cassidy on the ranch, she does it almost every day as well. So it's really a cool thing. But let me show you the shower real quick, because the shower, we had to figure out how to keep it running during the winter. And right now outside, I think it's 20 degrees right now. It's freaking cold. So what we did is we insulated the hoses and did all that stuff. But more importantly, we used another one of those freeze miser things. So if you come in here, this is our little freeze miser, and you can see it's dripping and it's creating flow, which is not allowing it to freeze. And then when we get done, we have a drain valve that drains the head, and now it'll stay unfrozen. So right now, here's the Julka's ready to go with the right flow and the right heat. This is my propane system that I run to keep the hot water. And you just turn it on, close this guy, and oh, there it goes. So, and the hot, then it's at right now 91, 100, whatever. You'll start seeing steam come off it, and it's a super bitchin' hot shower. So it's really, really cool. And I tell you guys, having an outdoor shower is so therapeutic. It is so cool to take a shower outside when it's snowy and 20 degrees, and you're in here in like your own little steam bath, and you're outside. This is one of my favorite things on the whole ranch, is this. So I can't tell you enough about how much we love that, and this is the system. And by the way, too, my hired man, Kelsom, is the one that came up with kind of the system to make this work. And so I don't get the credit for the brilliance in this. I just get the credit for saying, I know it can be done. Let's figure it out. So pretty cool. And we got this little Dr. Seussy thing, so it looks kind of fun as well. So here in the shower with all my clothes on, I would say thank you for watching this video. Marc Warnke, they call me the Goat Guy. And I hope you continue to follow us and follow us through the whole homesteading and lifesteading thing that we're doing in making our land this beautiful place for our community and giving back to the world and developing all these really cool ideas and technology and off-grid living and gardening and all the different things that we're doing to raise animals and self-sustain and eating whole and nutritious food and bringing spirituality into our lives and community into our lives. We have dances here and we get together with people and we intentionally share about where we are in our lives together. And I believe we have a beautiful model that I think people will follow someday. So click to subscribe, leave us a comment, share this with your friends. And if you need any help with goats, we have a Goat Club membership and everything you need there. And you know, we have really fun little things you can get on PackGoats.com as well that can help support our efforts and what we're trying to do. So I hope you find that helpful. Marc Warnke signing out.